How you doing, friends? Welcome back. My name is Rick and this is Winder's Ranger. I wanted to start before the air conditioner kicks back on. We're going to do a sound comparison here. We've got the Mini Split installed. It's running. I'm not using it every day, all day just yet. Got a few other minor things to do here. We've got a rainstorm right now, so I don't know how much outside stuff we're going to do, but I was going to walk you through what I've done so far as the install is concerned, how things are running. But I also want to do a sound comparison with the air conditioner, the stock RV rooftop air conditioner versus the Mini Split here. So we do have a couple of minor bugs to work out, and it's not anything to do with the Mini Split system itself, the Mr. Cool. It's a great product. I was really happy the way that it was shipped and packed. I wanted to do an unboxing, but that really didn't happen the way I wanted it to. So in between working and then on my days off trying to find time to actually install all this stuff, trying to do an unboxing video and the installs video and then working cameras and doing it all by myself, and it's just not as feasible as I would like it to be. So some of this stuff is after the fact. I've got some still photos that I'll include along the way here as I went through the install process. But as far as the packaging goes, the way it was shipped with Avrit, and the packaging, it came in two boxes. The outdoor condenser in one box, and then the indoor unit in its own separate box. And the packaging was nice. I think they did a real good job with that. The indoor unit was had bands of I think it was 2-inch square styrofoam around it, and then the base of the box was like a honeycomb cardboard. So the cardboard box was close to 2 inches thick. And the same thing with the outdoor unit. It had big, thicker, the white styrofoam around the corners and the sides and things. And then it had that honeycomb cardboard, 2-inch thick cardboard on the bottom. And then the line set was included with the outdoor unit. So what I'll do until this indoor unit kicks on, now that we're in here talking and blowing a bunch of hot air, this thing will probably kick on any time. But let me walk you through what we've got so far here. Let me turn the camera around. So here's the indoor unit. A couple of things, I showed some of this with the last video that we did, where this used to be the bunk for the above the garage and the toy hauler. And what I did is it had slats, kind of like a handrail. I just extended those out and then put a big sheet of it's pine boards, but they're all glued together in one piece. And then I had to make a trim up across the top there because it just wasn't quite wide enough. And then the Mini Split unit, the bracket gets attached to the wall. There's a 3-inch or 3.5-inch hole, I think, over on this side over here. And that allows the line set and the drain to come through, and the power wire that runs the Mini Split, and then the unit itself just hangs on that bracket. In transport, if this thing ends up, there's a couple other issues. It's not 100% sure yet if this is going to stay the way it is. But if we keep the Mini Split as it is, it'll have to have a strap or something around it to make sure that doesn't come off the wall, just simply because it's not made for a mobile type installation. It's made for a residential house that's not going to be moved anyplace. So if this thing was to hit the trailer was to go over a big bump or something, it could jar that thing off the wall. It's pretty unlikely, but it could happen. All right, so we'll do the sound test, and then we'll go over that when we turn this thing on. So here you can hear the air conditioner, the rooftop, which we got that thing there. That's what's creating all the noise. So let me turn the Mini Split on and we'll compare the sound here. Stand by. Okay, Mini Split. Going to power it on. And you can see, once we focus, you get the temperature reading of the current temperature inside, and you also get a little LED light that lights up over here that tells you that it's on. And I believe we are in fan mode, so let's turn it to cool. We'll turn the fan down all the way. Okay, that's down all the way, and probably not even going to pick it up on the microphone. I'm using the lavalier mic right now, so I've also got the washer, which is getting ready to go into a spin cycle there in the back, but that's cooling at 78 degrees. We'll turn it down to 76. You'll see the temperature there change on the side, and the fan is low, so that gives you an idea of the difference in the noise level between that and the rooftop. That's one of the big benefits to a mini split, is how quiet it is. It's supposed to be more energy efficient also. One of the issues that I'm having is, you can see this is the entryway up into the bedroom and the bathroom, and trying to get that cool air to go forward is a bit of an issue. So I can cool it down in the living room here, living room kitchen area, and it's about 10, seems like it stays about 8 to 10 degrees warmer up front. So that's one of my challenges, and I think the remedy for that, there's two things. One, I tried setting a fan on the floor down here and blowing cool air forward and turning the bathroom vent on. Now the bathroom vent is one of those cheap, it's just got a small fan up in there. You open the vent and turn the fan on, and it's adequate. I think if I replace that fan with like a Max Air fan or a Fantastic fan, it's got more capacity to pull air out of the room. So I think what will happen is, if I had that fan in there and then have it on exhaust, so it's pulling air out, it'll pull the warmer air in the bedroom up through the ceiling and out, and that'll help bring cool air up into the front. I think that'll probably work, because it's promising with that bathroom fan when it's on that it cools it versus when it's not on. The other big issue, I got a mess back there right now, and we'll wait for the washer to stop, but the outdoor unit's sitting right here, out in the garage portion. I cut a hole in the wall, put a compartment door in, and I made a set of louvers to keep the rain out, which had a little bit of an issue with that, but I think we've got that ironed out now. It's keeping the rain out sufficiently now. When the outdoor unit's running, it gets pretty hot in the garage. Right now, with the rooftop air conditioner, I can open this door and allow cool air to go into the garage, and it'll make it comfortable back there, and use that as kind of like a usable space. There's actually a bunk and a set of sofas back there that come down from the ceiling. But with the outdoor unit, I didn't expect it to get as hot back there as what it does. I figured, it would exhaust the air out through the compartment door that I put in, and that would be sufficient. It would pull air in through the vent up in the ceiling. I measured the temperatures back there yesterday, or the day before when that thing was running, and they were anywhere between 98 degrees and 108 degrees. And that's pretty hot. That's a little bit warmer than I care to deal with. So then you take a day where maybe I'm doing laundry in the washer dryer combo, which sits on this side, and that thing, it's not vented, so it permeates a little bit of warm air itself, and it's going to get even hotter back there. So one thing that I tried to do, with this being on this side exhausting out, there's a window on this wall here, is opening that window and allowing it to just draw air straight across and blowing it out. That also seems promising. One of the issues are that I made the louvers myself. I actually hand cut oak boards, small thin boards, and I made the set of louvers. And that in turn has reduced the amount of surface area that's available for the air to exhaust out through that compartment door. So I'm getting a little bit of air reflecting back, and it's not quite as efficient at pulling air out through there as what it should be. I don't know if I can get that temperature down. If I can't get the temperature down to a reasonable level back there, this setup as it is right now is probably not going to be for me. I'm not saying it won't work, because it is working. Just don't know that I'm satisfied with it. If I can get the temperature down, okay, but we'll have to see. I think what we may try to do is take the louvers out. Right now the compartment door is set where the door folds down and just rests up against the side of the trailer, so I don't have to prop it open. If I flip it over, and I can still do that because it's only semi-permanently mounted, I can still take that compartment door out, flip it over, and let the door act as a rain shield. I'll just have to do something where the hinge is to keep water from running in around the hinge. But the door itself could act as a rain shield, and then maybe get plexiglass or something for both sides of the door to keep rain from blowing in from the side. And that could also act as a way to prop the door open. Before I do that, I'm going to take the louvers out, try running this thing, and see with the window open with the cross breeze if that keeps the temperature down and I get a good flow out through the compartment door. If that's the case, then that's what I'll do, is I'll flip the compartment door over and give that a try. So that's really the main issue right now as far as using this thing, that and trying to cool the front bedroom. So here's the outdoor unit. You can see the cooling lines come down through the bunk. And what I should have done when they were coiled is the coil came down and the coil was coiled this way. Would it be on this side of the down of the line that comes down. I should have twisted that and put the coil over here so it could go right into the connection point down here. Well, I didn't, and as I uncoiled it, I had to uncoil the whole thing and wrap it down and around, up, and then get it into the connection point here. And that's because I didn't want a sharp bend in the copper line down here to the point that I would end up kinking the line. The other issue that I had was, until I installed the louvers, which you can just see there, I thought maybe making a fan shroud would help direct all of that air through there. It would force it to go through and I'd get a more efficient flow. So I made a temporary fan shroud, and I cut the little tabs here so I could, get it to have rounded edges and still have something that I could temporarily attach. In this case, I used just tape and attached it to the wall. That kind of worked okay. As you can, I don't know if you really be able to tell, you can see this thing's kind of moving a little bit. That's because that air is actually reflecting back. If I push it down, of course that controls some of it, but I end up getting a little bit of that flow around the edge here. So again, I think that's where, if I take those louvers out, turn that compartment door upside down, and see if maybe having this fan shroud, which of course needs a more refined look than what it is right now, if that would control the amount of air going out and I get a good flow. The other thing is, I don't have this side window open over here. This is just for the video purposes right now. But at 68 degrees inside, I'm sorry, 76 degrees inside, minus the washer machine over here, this is all the louder this thing is. So, of course, my air right now is just coming in through the roof vent up there. But it works good. This thing is pretty big. I had the dimensions and I measured everything when I put this in, so I knew how big this was going to be. To be quite honest with you, I don't think the dimensions that you see really do it justice for what it actually is when you get it into place. Of course, it's made to sit outside. The original plan for that outdoor unit was to have it sitting on a cargo tray or some sort of a fabricated tray on the very back of the RV. The problem for that is, this being a toy hauler, is I would still like to have the ability to haul things in the back, golf carts and things like that. To do that, if that outdoor unit is sitting on the back on a tray, I can't put that door down unless that tray swings out of the way. Well, then that creates a new problem, is the copper line set. It's flexible, but it's not that flexible. I don't think I could get away with moving that thing out of the way more than maybe a time or two before that copper line is compromised to the point that now it's no longer any good. I did find on, I think it was Amazon or online somewhere, I found a copper line that could be spliced in. It's a flexible line, kind of like, looks sort of like one of the braided water lines like you would see at a hardware store or something like that, to go underneath the sink, between the sink valve or the sink water line inlet to where the service line comes in, to that part of that particular room in the house. It looks like that, but it's got two copper ends, so it would have to be sweat soldered into place. And I don't know if I could make it work, and that's a little bit outside of my skill set. I could probably figure it out and make it work, but if I hook everything up and I've got a leak, then now I've got to call an AC tech to bring some Freon out or the refrigerant to recharge my system, and I really didn't want to get into all that. which is what prompted this particular setup here. It's working. You know, I would mark it up as a success. My biggest issue is how warm it gets in the garage and the hot air up in the bedroom. You know, the bedroom is still manageable, but in the Florida heat, I don't think it's quite adequate. In just about any other climate, say if I was to pull this thing out in the Midwest or something, I'm sure that the bedroom would be plenty cool enough. I think with the fantastic fan, I can bring that temperature down and make it manageable. But here in Florida, you know, it needs just a little extra help. So that's next on the list, is we're going to get a fantastic fan, which is what I wanted to do anyway, is put a fantastic fan in the bathroom, and there needs to be one in the garage because the fan that I showed you in the garage ceiling quit working a while ago. I've checked the fuses and the switch is fine, so I think it's the motor itself gave out, whether it got moisture in it or I don't know what, but I don't know that fan in the garage is going to get replaced before the one in the bedroom. I want to do the one in the bedroom first to see if this thing is going to work. If it doesn't work, then we're going to go to plan B, and I haven't thought that far ahead yet. So, but there you go. It's in, it's working, it's running. So it actually works pretty good. It cools this space down. It can actually make it too cold in here. If I get the temperature down in here, and I actually use the infrared thermometer, the little laser gun that I used in the oven temperature check, and I checked the temperature. I had like surfaces in here that were 68 degrees. So, and that was even, you know, I think the air conditioner was set at like 70, I think it was 76, and I had the fan turned all the way up. So it was working pretty hard, but it wasn't even, I could definitely go lower than that. This thing's a 24,000 BTU air conditioner, so part of the reason for getting an air conditioner with that high of a setting, that high of a BTU measurement, was because I figured trying to cool the bedroom in the Florida heat was going to be an issue. You know, in this RV, probably should have a two-zone mini split, having one here and then having the other unit up in the bedroom someplace. The problem was I couldn't find a place to mount that unit up there without moving some cupboards or something like that. So that just, I wanted to steer clear of that, so we stayed with this one unit here. But anyway, there you go. We got it up and working. Just got a few other bugs to iron out, and once I figure those out, or if we end up scrapping this plan, then I'll come back with another video. But thanks for coming along and watching the video, and appreciate you watching. We'll see you all on the next video. Take care.